And with that said, Smoke Dragon, roll us in, buddy.
Been here in DuBois County for 14 years, lived in this house for 13 years. Haven't had a whole lot of snow. We got some sleds up there, and the boys maybe once a year get to get them out and try to push them. And we got a hell of a hill. But
Front or back?
both.
Yeah.
But I guess my question was, or my wonder was, just sledding all together. I mean, was it always... is the last 13 years pretty typical of southwest Indiana weather? Did you guys used to sled, like get snow enough to do that kind of thing? Because since I've been here, there's not really been that much snow.
My topic for this topic that for today, I literally had typed on our show notes, the weather in Indiana has changed tremendously since we were kids. Now, I looked it up and looked at like December 15th, 1995. Very similar temperature and things like that. Now, let's go back farther, like in the 70s and shit like that.
We had the blizzard in 76.
78, 77, and all them years there. Yeah, whenever that mysterious blizzard is. But I can remember as a child, that was when because you put something about your top, you were going to talk about sledding, and I was going to kind of help maybe
make a segue,
skipping, whatever. But I was on that same vein thinking today, because like today we were picking up leaves and it was like 50, 58, 51, 59.
Our weather right now is very good at yo-yoing from 50 to below freezing. And it is playing, it is wreaking havoc on anybody with sinus issues.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is like, I don't ever remember, like, so for example, this is duck season. Duck season came in a couple weeks ago, and 95% of the time when you would duck hunt in the mornings, it would be balls cold, like you're fighting ice and all kinds of shit. Now, granted, you'd have those fluke seasons where you would never get any water, like you'd never get no rain, or you'd never get any precipitation, no snow, no nothing, no ice. And it was just a dream season, and you'd had open water everywhere, and you just whack them and it'd be a good time. But I don't know. Like, I was just thinking about it today. Like, Justine ordered the kids snowsuits, and they came in, like Amazon. They came in today. They got new bibs and some gloves and shit like that.
I don't need those.
Yeah. And I was like, we don't even, I don't remember the last time we went. I can remember the last time we had enough snow to go sledding. And it was a couple years ago, probably 2 years ago, I guess it was, where...
Yeah, I was dragging the kids around on a golf cart.
And we went to the old Waterworks Hill down there, back on the, in the bottom lake at Holland. And there was people that brought, like we were drinking beer, and we brought... like a heater, like it was a propane heater up there, and all the kids were drying their hands and warming up, and then they had big thermoses of hot cocoa, and then we went home and got pizza and put our gloves and hats and socks and things in the dryer and shit like that. It's like, I can remember those days as a kid a lot more than I feel like my kids are going to be able to remember those.
Absolutely.
Gosh, dang it.
What?
I don't know. I think I've had the same conversation with my father before, because he can relay, like, when I was a child, it was this, and this. But I think if you analyze the data, you would see there probably is, some warming, but you have warm stretches and you have cold stretches, and we have that. I think what we've learned more about in the last 25 to 30 years is how weather patterns affect. Like when we had that polar vortex, it was all because a low pressure had dropped out, and it allowed that
was cold,
frosty Canadian winter weather that goes across the plains to dip down and come through. We deal with El Nino and La Nina a lot, which are all weather patterns that affect from the Pacific and what comes through and what comes out. I just think that we, as kids, remember the snow days as being something more than what they were. It's kind of like going to, like, I'll say it as a kid, like you thought the Herbst Fest was the bee's knees.
Mm-hmm.
And now you go to the Herbst Fest and you're like, yeah. And I'm not throwing shade at anything, but it's not what you recollected as a child. It's not what you believe it to be as
Well, I
a
think
child.
factually driven though.
Well, like 110% though, like East Central Indiana gets way more snow than Southwest Indiana.
And some of
Hands
that is
down,
and
lake
so-
effect, and all that shit up in the
Well, and
northern
that's-
areas.
And when you look at in our areas of our weather patterns, is we're in a river valley,
Mm.
and that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's built up, and that's why if you watch the weather patterns coming in from southern Illinois during storm season, and it hits kind of that corner of Indiana, and it just splits.
Yeah,
And that's what happens. We don't,
it always hits the river and just disappears.
Yeah.
or it'll stay south of the interstate.
or it pushes north and gets up further that way.
They always say those geographical changes in the land and everything like that. It definitely has definitely a factor in the weather. Like
But,
like the interstate, always says, "Well, God bless down there south of the interstate, they got hammered. Hell, it didn't even rain at home."
Yeah.
Shit like that, and you hear about that all the time.
I used to watch it. So when I worked
Yeah.
construction, we had a bridge building project, and you used to watch weather,
Threats, sorry.
and you would think you're like, oh, we're going to get rained out.
Yeah,
And if it was it would stay south. And then there were times when it would be right along the interstate, and you're like, it's not going to dip down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would watch it rain, not but a mile and a half, just pissing and pouring. And you're standing there in the sun, and you're like, what in the hell?
yeah.
So I don't know. I just
It just seems to me like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I can remember riding my bicycle on Christmas morning. I'm not saying that. Like, if you got a new bike on Christmas, I can remember riding it,
Yeah.
because it wasn't snowy or anything.
well, I can
like that.
remember when we'd go fishing and being wearing long pants and a long sleeve T-shirt, and that's it. And it's January 12th.
Yeah.
Like it just you have those days like
Yeah.
that.
And I feel like it's weather. Like, everybody wants to blanketly call it global warming and get in this whole conspiracy and all this shit, which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the pollution levels now are tenfold of what they were. And it all has effect on the ozone and how everything works. And that's common facts. But, like, I think it's just called cycling, like weather cycles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the earth goes through different cycles and stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
And if we wanted snow and we wanted to go sledding all the time, then we would have, move to Green Bay or move to Buffalo or move to Canada or go to
Yeah.
Alaska or
Yeah.
something. You know what I
Well-
mean? Like, don't expect to have record snowfall every year here. You know what I mean? And just, I love snow. Don't get me wrong. I love everything about it. I love the smell of it, the sound of it falling, the kind of challenges that it creates, for travel and the things, it's kind of a fun difference, for me. I like it. It's pretty
Well,
and shit like that.
but to be
Kids
honest
get to
with
play.
you, we've had enough snow for a while now where I've cleaned my driveway, your driveway, and there's a pretty good pile of snow. It just doesn't hang around.
Yeah.
That's like those olden snow days we had. You'd have snow for a day that you got to go out and play in it,
And it was
and by
gone.
the next day, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Or hell, it'd be gone by that evening.
Yeah. Now, when I lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you got snow all the time, and it continued to snow, and you got a lot of it. Like it's nice, like all those pure characteristics you provide of it. But then when it's January, February, well, it's probably when it gets into February and March,
and
you
still 20 inches
and you
of snow
still
on the
because
ground.
it's everywhere. You want to go grocery shopping.
You can't.
Well, guess what? Parking spots are all freaking jacked up because there's snow plows and snow mounds.
Mounds everywhere.
Like, and it's still there. Like, it's
Did Richmond get a lot more snow up there than it does here?
Oh yeah, yeah. We had snow in parking lots till February, March.
Yeah.
well, and it's just there's nothing across those plains.
No.
I mean, just look at as you head out to the further Midwest and Kansas and Nebraska and all those places. Like they get the freaking snow and the weather and all that other stuff. Knew a girl from law school. She was from Minot, North Dakota,
Oh God.
right up like Canadian border up that way.
Fargo.
I don't know where Minot and Fargo are.
Well,
in
it's
relation.
just
Oh, you're just
general.
throwing it out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But
No-
I mean,
no big deal.
she'd talk about it, and they'd get their snowpack led to flooding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it led to flooding, depending on because really out there, if you don't get snow, you might get a little bit in the spring, but there's not much moisture other than what comes from that snowpack.
Where did you go sledding?
Glen Miller Park had a good, sledding hill.
Glen Miller Park.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in Abington, where my dad lived, it was on a big hill, and the general store is at the bottom. So Linda always had hot cocoa for everybody.
Oh.
So there's always ramps built on there.
We would go to, like, I was a South Sider, so we were always on 5th Street up there, where me and my buddy Ian and a handful of us would always hang out. We would always go, like, if the roads were shit and it was slicker than dog shit out, like, we'd always go road sledding. We'd go over to Kentucky Street, right there by Holland Distributors, and ride it down. Sometimes you'd go all the way down to the flat before the Holland House. I mean, it's a good one. Now, if it was fresh pow and we were getting ready to rip up that Durr, we would head on over to the Waterworks Hill on the south side of the bottom lake there, south of, or the west of the park. And we would, there was several people that got hurt on that hill. Yeah, buddy of mine, Brock Giles, broke his ankle there one time.
Ooh.
We built a ramp with a car hood. Yeah, not smart.
We always built ramps with old blankets.
Oh yeah, how's that work?
Well, you just pack them and pack snow in between, and it
How about damn?
works pretty good.
We big local hill is there at the old dump, which leads down into the driving range, but there's always a lot of kids out there that sled. We always sled at home. We had hills back through there. What vehicle or mode of sledding transportation were you big on?
2 feet. 2 feet. We had to walk. Mom hated the snow.
Well, I mean,
driving it.
I think you meant what kind of sled did you prefer?
Oh,
Yeah.
just a plastic, old, cheap ass dollar store sled.
we were fortunate probably because when Dad was doing, when he's working for I was going to say Peabody, but he never did, Oliner, big inner tube tires.
Oh yeah,
We used to sled on inner tube tires, and the things that you had to be really careful about them.
the valve
is that,
stems.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you always made sure them
Some
sons of
bitches are about
were down.
2 feet tall.
Yeah, how nobody lost an eye in the Lindemann household on that? Interesting.
Yeah.
You could always get more, depending on the snow, like good speed out of a 2-railed traditional
Had to be hard pack.
Mm-hmm.
Road snow was a good for a runner sled.
Yep.
And then
Paraffin wax the shit out of them runners.
the plastic sleds were always fun because they work about anywhere. But we always had a good toboggan,
Mm-hmm.
and those did good.
Like a real wooden one,
Yeah,
the curl nose and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Never rode on one.
Yeah, me neither.
Those get to moving, and they push the snow out, but you don't catch as much as you do in a plastic sled.
Do you think kids do as much sledding as what maybe?
No, because it don't snow. That's what we're getting
That's
at.
what I was driving at.
But
Yeah.
it snows.
We would, I think one of our biggest ones we had was a boogie board. We had a boogie board that had like a slick bottom on it. That son of a bitch would fly.
It got
yeah.
that commercial grade. What is that in Christmas Vacation?
Cereal varnish.
Yeah.
On that old metal saucer. Now, my buddy Ian Reinhardt was a big saucer guy.
Yeah.
He was a big saucer guy. Real low impact, small little plastic dollar store saucer.
We had a red one too.
Yeah, and I was always I was out. Oh, yeah, I'll be goddamned if I'm going down backwards. Not happening. I'm going free. I'm gonna jump and dive head first onto my sled and ride her down the hill like that. Like I'm not. No.
Well,
I'm all out.
you're a trooper that way.
Yeah, all out on the saucer.
You're a trooper out that. And I think we actually every year Janelle and I get in that spot where like snow does come.
And you don't have any sleds.
And she bought one finally this year, and we won't get a flake of snow. You're welcome, everybody.
I have pictures on my old phone, I think, of one time whenever it was, I think it was like late February when we got some snow last time. A couple years ago, last year, 2 years ago. Hell, we were ice fishing the same time in February.
Yeah. Guys around here that ice fish are freaking crazy.
I do. I've done it. I never used to. I've never ice fished in my life until I had my own pond. And I didn't ice fish like a normal person would ice fish. I drug a John boat out there and set in it. And I tied the other end of it to my Ranger, my side-by-side. I had a long-ass rope.
Yeah.
Probably 200 or 300-foot rope.
Well, it makes sense.
Because my lake's not that wide, you know what I mean? And I I sunk like crappie traps or crappie nests.
Yeah.
To where we could kind of half-ass know where they were at, and went out there with a spud bar and just chopped holes because the ice was probably it was more than that. It was probably 6 inches. And we drug that boat out there and just sat in the boat, chopped the holes, and then, we would fish this one till it quit. And then Justine's little brother Grant, he would get out and then shove the boat up about 20 feet, and then we'd chop a few more holes. But yeah, I like, when I was in Grand Rapids, they all said you had to have a winter sport or something you do in the winter or you're going to go crazy. Ice fishing's
and ice
huge.
fishing, we had a black, because you'd catch them and you just throw them out there on the ice. And then you go clean them, and they were just fresh as they could be.
God, walleye, perch, shit like that. That's good eating. There.
Little white fish there. So, Dave, good topic, buddy.
Hey, yeah.
Big sledding guy, huh?
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Yeah, there we go.